Welcome back. We are talking about bugs now.
Yeah.
Regardless of the age of the game or whatever game it is, all games have bugs, whether you like it or not, and that's what we're talking about now.
I hate bugs.
I mean, I don't think anyone loves them.
No, I
No.
mean like
Like-
bugs, like bugs. Like
Crawly crawlies.
yeah, creepy crawlies.
Okay.
Crawly
Well, I can't
crawlies?
I
agree
don't
with you
know.
on that.
Crawly crawlies?
I love real life bugs.
What's
Creepy
wrong with you? It's creepy crawlies.
You're a fucking creepy. Whatever that means. Yeah, so every game has bugs, and that's something that we're going to have to talk about.
Arkham City, unfortunately, is
More full of bugs than we would have liked.
well, let's talk about it then. Jumping into this, straight off the bat, one bug that was very apparent to me was every now and then, whenever I try to grapple, instead of seeing, I play it on PC, obviously, because it's PC Master Race. But whenever I try to grapple to a point, the point that you're trying to grapple to, it's supposed to show up as F, right? Because grapple is bound to your F key.
Yeah.
But every now and then, I see RB as in right button, like right shoulder button for a controller, in the overlay.
For the Xbox controller.
Exactly, instead of seeing F, and that practically means that the console port of the game is baked into the PC port, which is not an efficient way to code a game. But yeah, that gets real. It's not a bug per se, but I feel like that in itself is reason for some of the other things that I have to say. This is proof to my justification, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of bugs in Arkham City, right? Like with the hitbox inconsistencies. Like a few days ago, I was doing a challenge map, right? And it was a challenge map with a Titan. It was one of the extreme ones. And while I was, auto stunning the Titan, taking the bugger out, I had a good combo. I was up to about 40 or 50 times. And just as when I was about to start punching this big ass Titan, a blade guy comes at me, right? And I was like, all right, do the thing, initiate a blade dodge takedown, because I saw the yellow counter, I saw the guy swiping, and I initiated the counter, and just as I initiated the counter, the blade dodge guy's yellow blade dodge counter icon disappears, and he's swiping at me, and he's not hitting me, and I lose my combo, like just like that. I was like, wait, what, who, what? And like there's a few inconsistencies like that just keep happening throughout the game that really, really, really bug me. Yeah, Danny, what were you? Do you have anything more to say?
Yeah, you told me about that. I didn't see it, but something I've had trouble with personally is I've had some camera issue problems. For those of you who know Arkham City well enough, when I was going after the first Riddler hostage, I had to find Riddler's frequency, and what happened basically is the camera moved such that it was going to the point where you'd see the cryptographic sequences scene, but Batman was still standing still. And the character didn't move, Batman, and I didn't have any input available. Like, I couldn't...
So you had to restart.
I had to restart from the last checkpoint because there was no input available, and I just couldn't do anything at that point.
Yeah, something similar happened to me with Deadshot. You were there for the Deadshot thing, weren't you?
Remind me?
So I was doing the Deadshot side mission, right? And I was at the very last victim, where you go to Deadshot's hideout in the GCPD area,
Oh, that's right.
right? And you scan one of the buildings and you find where he's keeping his stash of weapons, right? You have to rip that door open. For me, I got there and Batman's like, "Oh, right, that's the place," because he saw it with the X-ray with his detective vision. And I went to rip the thingy open, but I didn't get the prompt, and I was just walking there waiting for the prompt to appear for like a good 5 minutes. Yeah, Danny, you were there for that.
Yeah, so basically he ripped it off.
Oh, yeah.
The
It
thing
stayed
was
on.
still there.
It stayed on,
It
yeah.
was still there. And I think the game recognized that there was something in front of this PDA,
Yeah.
but at the same time it didn't recognize it as an interactable object.
Yeah, and I had to restart again.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, it sounds like we're nitpicking, but we have to bring up these issues, right? We need to be honest. But yeah, that was those bugs. They're not limited to just one instance, and I feel like that's why it's valid us talking about it.
Yeah. On top of this, we've had some AI problems.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Sometimes in Predator, so basically when you do a silent takedown, you get seen going up to a gargoyle. The AI triggers, and then they start getting rid of your gargoyles.
Yeah.
Now, the more you do this, the quicker they start taking them out. And it gets to a point where they're going to actively just get rid of them. So this one time I took someone down, and immediately they just started going off at the gargoyles. I pretty much had nothing left because they were just going after
And they didn't even see you go up to the gargoyles.
No,
right?
no. This was in the Catwoman thing.
Yeah, the Catwoman. God, that Catwoman DLC map at the very end with Harvey's thing, right? With Two-Face's stealing the loot back from Two-Face. That is the most broken bloody Predator encounter. It's goddamn horrible. Ajmain, have you played that one?
Well, the Catwoman one.
Yeah, with Two-Face at the very end where you go back to steal your loot from Two-Face?
I did, and I did not enjoy it at all. The AI definitely had problems there, like on top of Catwoman's abysmal gameplay. Like, not exactly her combat. I think her combat's okay. I'm talking about her gadgets.
Yeah.
Her gadgets are useless.
That in combination with that broken ass AI, right?
Yeah.
And
that is an AI
the only
problem
way
as
you
a
can get
whole, I
Two-Face
think,
is
with
by
the enemy
brute
type.
forcing him.
Yeah, legit. Because the AI is so, well, just dumb that it just locks onto you like a fucking magnet or some shit.
Yeah, it definitely has some aimbot going on.
Yeah, some legit aimbot stuff in there. And it's really unfair because, we paid for DLC. We want some good DLC.
When they start taking down gargoyles like that as well, I mean, Batman can live without them.
Yeah, but as Catwoman, you can't. You don't have smokers. You don't have anything. But yeah, it's AI inconsistencies as well. It gets annoying. And obviously, the biggest elephant in the room, the freeze grenade bug. It's a bit of an exploit, to be honest. For those of you that don't know, whenever you're on a ledge sort of a thing, right? Crouching on a ledge sort of, and you start throwing freeze grenades, quick firing them, you start levitating, start rising up into the air like Bat God.
Yeah.
And you can start gliding from a very high point, therefore. I unfortunately used that to complete a Riddler challenge or two, with the glide physical challenges. And yeah, it's a bit of an exploit,
Yeah.
And
Ruin some gameplay.
Yeah, honestly. It's a bit useful sometimes, especially if you want to revisit Wonder Tower or something.
Yeah.
But again, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have that. And yeah, that's most of the issues that we want to talk about. Just overall, it's a lot more buggy than Arkham Asylum. Is definitely nowhere near as buggy as Arkham Origins. Don't even get me started. But a lot more buggy than Arkham Asylum was. And I think whilst, one may argue that, hey, it's a newer game, they don't have an excuse, we need to remember that Arkham City had a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Bigger environment, more breakable objects, whatnot. So obviously there's bound to be a few things that go wrong. But, Ajmain, would you call me unfair for, highlighting these issues and actually having serious problems with them?
No, I think you have, perfectly good reasons for pointing these bugs out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all fans and all, but we need to be honest when we come to criticizing this game, right?
It's funny that the console version of Arkham City, not the remastered, the remaster doesn't have any problems, but I'm talking about the original PS3, Xbox 360 version of Arkham City. They didn't have much of these issues, honestly, and it just goes to show you that Rocksteady prioritized making the console version more polished, even though it had technical limitations because consoles aren't powerful like PCs, obviously. Even with that, with that limitation in mind, Rocksteady decided to prioritize the gameplay,
the
more
console
on the console side. So you had less bugs there, but unfortunately, for some reason, the PC players had to deal with all these completely avoidable bugs. I mean, if Rocksteady had planned
a little more accordingly, right?
Planned this a little more accordingly for the PC version, most of these bugs would have been eradicated before the game was even released for PC.
Yeah. I mean, it's always sad to me, at least, when a developer prioritizes like, like one port over the other, right? Like with a console port, because at the end of the day, we're all paying the same thing, right? And it's just not cool when you do that to your players, to your customers, I guess. And I mean, along the same line of thought, we can even talk about Arkham Knight's horrendous bugs at launch.
Yeah.
But
for PC, it's. I mean, they had to remove the game from every store for PC for Arkham Knight because of how bad it was. I mean, and then they re-released it in 2016 after the Game of the Year edition came out. Like that. That's how bad it was. But we'll discuss that.
We'll get that. We'll get that covered when we come to Arkham Knight. But I mean, it goes on to say that it's a bit of a recurring trend, but not just Rocksteady, I feel, but with a lot of game devs, right? And I like, on a personal note, I think all of us can agree with the fact that this is not a practice that should be normalized. It's not cool. It's not nice, man. Don't do this to us. Come on. And then you have gamers that spend a lot of money on their rigs, and they do it because they love the games, and they don't want to deal with some buggy-ass game because of it.
And the Zaz thing you were talking about?
Oh, God, how could I forget? Jeez. I think I already mentioned this with gameplay earlier, but Zaz was also another huge bloody bug. Because, you'd be gliding around, you'd hear a phone ring, just dive bomb land right next to the phone, and as soon as you land next to the bloody phone, it stops ringing. I'm not even talking about like landing like a meter off or something. Like you land right next to it and it stops ringing. And then, you wait there for like 15 to 20 seconds and it starts ringing all over again. Like, I've lost 3 telephones in my last playthrough because of this, because I didn't know that they'd start ringing again, right? Yeah. Danny just mentioned maybe just stay there for a little longer, and I did, and then it started ringing again. But yeah, I already hated Zaz, and that made me hate it more.
Mm-hmm.
That bug.
Also, on the topic of PC ports, like from console to PC, you were right about Arkham City not being the only sinner in this scenario when it comes to having a PC port, because games like Watch Dogs also had a PC port. Like it had a console game that got ported to PC, and it's still unplayable to this day. Like it's a big mess, and Ubisoft didn't pay attention on making it more compatible with PC.
Buy DLC to fix your issues that you already got when you paid for this game.
Exactly. I don't know. It's a reoccurring dilemma with having some games devs on PC. Apparently, PC is not a big deal, I guess.
No, this is the thing, man. Everyone just thinks PC gamers are all meant to be first-person shooters, right? And whilst I will always say that first-person shooters are best on PC, obviously, because high frame rates.
They're made for PC, honestly.
That doesn't mean that PC games have to only be first-person shooters, because there's a lot of us that love RPGs.
Exactly. Third-person games are, third-person action-adventure games are important on PC as well.
And I mean, in a world where you already have console exclusives like Spider-Man and God of War, which are 2 games that I love so much, it sucks that when they decide to finally port over some games to PC, they make them buggy. It's a little sad. It's a very unhealthy practice, I would say.
At least I'll add this little side note. At least Arkham City is very much playable.
Yeah, it's not game breaking.
I was gonna mention that exact word, game breaking, because there's this tiny game called Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. It was released way back then. I think it was in 2010 or 11, around the same time as Arkham City.
Huh.
And that game was a console game that got ported to PC.
Same story.
And that was in 2010, right? That was in the early 2010s. And if I'm correct, this is 2020.
Yeah.
Right? This is 2020, and it's still broken as hell. I bought the game for $4. I'm like, yay, I got this for such a good price. And then I launched it in 2020. I modified the settings. I tried to optimize it, and it's still unplayable. It crashes when I launch it. This is the problem with PC gaming as a whole. Like, it's an unfortunate problem the devs have. Like, they don't wanna. Many of these devs don't consider optimizing games for PC. I mean,
that is very true.
Come on, man.
That is very true.
Developers need to fix this.
But I mean, I guess that sums up our rant on bugs.
Yeah, I just like to remind ourselves that last time we gave Arkham Asylum a 6.
A 6.
For bugs. I think this was mostly due to the fact of that ground takedown thing.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to proportionalize that.
All right, you know what?
I think if we scored like 0, 1, and 2, that means game breaking.
Yeah, obviously. And I don't think Arkham City has... Well, I'll be honest, that Catwoman bug almost made me punch my damn laptop.
Same here. I mean, I've been playing for 9 years. Is that the 10th time I've mentioned that? Or I'm not sure. But I've been playing for a lot, and that's still infuriating.
Yeah.
There's no mastering to that. I mean, Daniel from Arkham videos might think otherwise. He probably knows exactly what he's doing with that, but yeah, it's beyond me.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna rip the band-aid. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say this. That bug with Catwoman almost game breaking, but I still got through it. I still get through it, so it's fine. Arkham City has only fully crashed on me once ever, which is also good.
Right?
Once.
Oh.
The other time it crashed was when I first bought it because I didn't have the DirectX 11 components.
Okay.
But yeah, along with that, what I am going to score it is going to be my reflection on the fact that whilst having some pretty serious bugs, it's still playable.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to score it. What I have to be proportional. I'm going to score it a 4.5.
4 for me.
So are you scoring out of 5 this time?
No, out of 10.
Out of 10, alright. So that's... Wait, so you're giving it 4.5 because it has less bugs. Is that it?
No. So lower the score still how bad it is. It's proportional.
So 10 out of 10 means it's bugless.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 means it's bugless. And 0 to 1 or 2 means it's game breaking.
Alright. Yeah, okay. So I guess... Should I give the score now?
Yeah.
Or Danny, do you want to... Alright, I'll go with it. Since I've had I've only been playing the PC version of Arkham City for a few months now, and for a very small amount of time, and I haven't noticed, practically, any of the bugs that you haven't mentioned.
Plus,
because I'm a new player for PC.
On console, so I guess it's important to take that aspect.
On console, the only major glitch, quote-unquote glitch we can call is probably I don't know. I don't even know if it's like a real glitch, like when the thugs go into the ground, like when their bodies morph into the ground,
I've seen that
after you take them out, or if they morph into each other, like when they're piled together. So if I'm gonna if I'm gonna talk about bugs, that's probably the only one I've noticed in the game.
So nothing
that's in the console version. So given how much of a smooth experience I've had with Arkham City, given how I've noticed very minimal amount of bugs, I would give it I would give it an 8.
That's fair because console port is fine, right? And we need everyone's perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that works perfect.
Because I've played it mostly on console, so from that point of view, I'm giving it an 8. I'm giving it an 8, yeah.
Alright, that gives us a grand total of 5.5 average.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
That's very fair, I feel, because whilst we do want to take a dump on the bugs because we play PC, we have to take, the other perspective as well.
Yeah. That brings us up to 57 decks.
Ooh, spicy. And yeah, that sums it up, I guess. We'll be back with collectibles and achievements. And yeah, quite a few things to say here. But yeah, collectibles and achievements coming up next.
welcome back, viewers. And now we're moving on to the collectibles and achievements section of our podcast session.
Spicy.
And my bad. What's that, Max? Did you say something?
Spicy.
All right then. Okay. Okay. I'll take that into consideration, I guess. All right. Moving on with the video. Arkham City took a very interesting turn with the achievement section compared to what Arkham Asylum did. Wouldn't you agree with that, guys?
Yeah, it definitely expanded on Asylum's take on collectibles.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and of course, on the forefront of the collectible section of Arkham City is everyone's favorite question mark guy, and that's of course the one and only Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. He's back at it again. He's pissed.
The trophies. Oh God, too many.
I mean, he's back at it again. The bastard, like he got really pissed off at how Batman outed him in Arkham Asylum, like how he found out where he was hiding during the events of Arkham Asylum, and he got captured by the police, and eventually he got shipped to Arkham City. So of course he wants revenge on Batman, and Rocksteady incorporated his story as Riddler challenges. Again, these are different activities related to collecting Riddler trophies, which are basically Riddler's collectibles that are spread across the entire map of Arkham City, much like how they were spread around Arkham Island and Arkham Asylum. So Rocksteady decided to make these Riddler trophies rewarding, like just like how they were in Asylum. In Asylum, if you collected certain trophies and solved certain riddles, you could get challenge maps. Isn't that right, Danny? Like
and you could get character trophies as well.
Yeah, exactly. Character
and
trophies you got,
cities,
and you unlock
cities, not stories. Sorry.
Yeah. So you unlock not only
character trophies and challenge maps.
Yeah, over here we had Arkham City stories and concept art and lots of cool stuff.
And you also unlocked voice tapes. Like,
you can find tapes and characters' profiles.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which I still need to show you.
And aside from that, and that was an Asylum, but in Arkham City, it took an interesting turn by including more content instead of just getting recordings and voice memos. By collecting certain trophies, you unlocked concept art. You unlocked these little little written add-ons to the story, like Arkham City stories that were called that were about certain characters, like what they were doing before Arkham City.
To some
backstories
of the
to certain characters, or not even just backstories. Like some of them are
origin stories, even like we had Solomon Grundy's origin story in one of them, right?
Yeah, we had origin stories. We had stories that were taking place while Arkham City was happening. I think like one or two of them, like I think it was Black Mask's one, like while he was escaping or something.
Yeah.
Like it was set during Arkham City, but most of it were about characters before the events of Arkham City.
It was a good bit of lore.
Yeah.
Especially for people who wanna.
Speaking of lore, there is one interesting conversation, like in one of these Arkham City stories, where Batman's talking with Catwoman, and that's before Arkham City happens, and Batman actually reveals that in canon, like in the story mode, he actually found that secret office of Sharp's in Arkham Asylum. Remember that secret office that Sharp had?
Blew up the walls
and then you find out the plans for Arkham City.
Yeah.
Well, that's not something Rocksteady threw in for the players. It's actually canon. Like in the universe, in the Arkham universe, Batman actually did find that room. So that's how he already knew about Arkham City. So yeah, that's a good piece of information that you would only know by collecting Riddler trophies and getting the Arkham City add-ons. And just like that, you have character trophies again that's taken from Arkham Asylum, like the concept that is, and then you get challenge maps as well. So I would honestly say that this is very rewarding. Like you get so many different things.
We've talked about this with Asylum, right? The system of having incentive to go after collectibles, incentive that ranges beyond just having 100% on your save. That is a very good strategy to to get players to really go after these trophies and really complete the games and enjoy the game.
Yeah, and on top of that, Rocksteady also very much develops how you get rid of the trophies. In Asylum, you would just go around, press space.
Yeah.
But in this, you can stand on those pressure plates.
Yeah, there's bat clawing them. There's using freeze grenades to get on the water and over
Explosive
gel. Jeez, so many different ways. So many ways. You have to glide through some of them.
Yeah.
The ones that you have to glide through walls.
For Riddler trophies, there's also another challenge to it. It's not just Batman collecting Riddler trophies.
Yeah. It's Catwoman too.
Yeah, we've got another player coming in to grab those sweet trophies, guys. And that's, of course, the one and only Catwoman. She's got her own specific trophies, and interestingly enough, it makes sense as well, but only Catwoman can collect her trophies, and Batman can collect only his trophies.
No, Catwoman can collect Batman trophies too.
Oh, really?
Catwoman can collect Batman's trophies, but Batman can't collect Catwoman's trophies.
All right, that is a very interesting piece of information.
It makes sense, sort of, because Catwoman can get to some of the places that Batman can get.
Yeah.
Some of them at least.
I get it. Like, Catwoman can visit anywhere, honestly. Like, if you have certain gadgets and certain prerequisites, like certain places, and if you're in the right place and at the right time, you can get into any place as Catwoman as well. So that's not the case with Batman.
Yeah,
like Batman can't get to places where Catwoman.
Yeah, Batman doesn't climb on the roof.
Exactly, Batman's not a cat. Yeah, he's a bat.
My problem with Catwoman's trophies is they're very lazy. Some of them they've just put there.
True.
I think so. Yeah.
It is a bit of an Arkham Asylum press space bar to collect.
True, it is, but then again, it's Catwoman. What could she even do?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I think they should have implemented some kind of thing with her gadgets.
Because she is one of the best thieves in the Arkhamverse, right? Probably the best thief in most of DC comics, right?
She is one of the best thieves. I wouldn't say in DC, she's probably in the top 10, but not in a very high list. Bottom 10, maybe. But she's there. But in the Arkham games, as far as we know, she's the best thief.
Yeah.
In the games, that is.
And they could have implemented it better, but it was still all right for first iteration on their part.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was nice having Catwoman as well, sort of.
We spoke a lot of good about the achievements, like the prizes you get for collecting Riddler's trophies and all, but on the other side of it, there's the fact that there are 440 riddles to solve.
400 of those being Batman.
And 40 of them being Catwoman.
Yeah.
440, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't have to remind me.
This is kind of off-putting. If you see 440 trophies and you are being told to collect them all in order to beat Riddler and finish the game 100%, a lot of people are gonna stop at one point. They're not gonna get all 440 trophies.
It's a very bleak percentage of people that actually complete all the Riddler trophies online.
Yeah, it is. It's probably less than 10%.
Less than 10%. Yeah. If you look at the console achievements, because if you get all the Riddler trophies, you get a console achievement, for both PS4 and Xbox One.
I mean, I think we looked this up a few days ago, right? Only 84% of people have gotten up to the achievement, I'm Batman, and it's 84% of the people that own the game, which means not all the people that own the game have even gotten up to the point of suiting up.
I'd say 90% of people who own the game have actually launched the game.
Exactly. Which is kind of sad.
Because they're missing out on so much.
If it would have made sense if you actually had hundreds of hundreds of Arkham City stories or hundreds of tapes or hundreds of character trophies to unlock, by using Riddler trophies, but you don't. You get a fraction of that. Like I think you don't get 400 like rewarding experiences. Now granted, now granted, much of a lot of these trophies have interactive puzzles, and they're fun to grind through. Like if you're a competitive player, you want to be like, oh, I want to solve all these hard trophies. Yeah. If you're a completionist, you're gonna be like, oh, these are hard, these are challenging, I like it. It gives me the incentive to be a better gamer at this, you know? So if you think about it like that, yeah, 440 trophies doesn't sound that bad. Maybe you like having a lot of challenges, but for me, I think that was a bit of a bummer.
I mean,
like
I don't think the majority of people actually do like it though, because we just looked at the stat on Steam, and there's only 7.5% of people who own the game that have actually got all the Riddler trophies. 7.5%. That's a tiny bloody number.
Well, actually, that's
a tiny fraction.
Trophies because they've only rescued all the hostages. There's still some trophies.
Oh yeah, true. Because you can rescue all the hostages and finish the Riddler side mission without having to complete all the trophies. But yeah, it's a bit of an eye opener. I mean, I guess it really says that not a lot of people are completionists, but it might also be alongside the fact that it's just a lot of trophies to collect.
It is a lot of trophies to collect, so we can't really blame people for not wanting to.
Exactly. I mean, it is a very satisfying payoff, but at the end, it's a grind, and not everyone likes that. And I'm not sure Rocksteady fully identifies that problem, but it's a bit of an issue, just a little bit, because Arkham Asylum was a comfortable amount of trophies, I feel.
Yeah, it was 240.
Yeah.
But happy medium.
Yeah. So overall, Riddler trophies, I wouldn't call them a hit or miss situation because most of it is rewarding. Like not most, but a lot of it is rewarding. And I just wish that it had more rewards for collecting all these trophies.
I mean, true, but what more could they reward you with, right?
Skins. Instead of making us pay for skins, you could have.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah. Instead of making us pay for skins, imagine collecting these Riddler trophies and getting skins.
Yeah, they could have at least made us get at least 5 skins or something, like a skin for each Riddler room or something. That would have been kind of cool. To see them do that, because like in games like Spider-Man, you have that, right?
Yeah, and Spider-Man, all the suits are like except for the DLC suits. There's like 30 suits that are built in. Like you unlock them by playing the game, not by paying real money.
Yeah, and that's a very fair way of doing things, right? Because it satisfies their customers, it satisfies the players, right? Because they think, all right, these bastards aren't charging us more for a skin; they're actually making us do something in the game and get the skin. And it's a rewarding sort of concept that would have been well implemented in Arkham.
Yeah. So on the whole, Riddler trophies, they're challenging, they're exciting, but I wish they were just more rewarding. So
do you want to score the collectibles part now?
The achievements?
Yeah. So, what about Calendar Man Mix? I'm pretty sure you know about that.
That's more achievement, right? I guess we should talk about that other achievements.
Isn't Calendar Man under that, or no?
It's not a collectible.
Okay, alright. We can talk about the achievements then.
What would you guys score the collectibles department? Just collectibles, actually. We'll cover.
So collectibles out of 5. Just collectibles out of 5.
All right.
So how we do this system is we get collectibles out of 5 and we get achievements out of 5, and we
got it. I got it. So for collectibles, given how I didn't like what the Riddler trophies did with not giving you too many rewards, like it gave you a lot, but not as much as I would like them to give us. So taking that into account, I would probably give it a 3.5. Honestly.
3.5.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going 3.5 as well.
Same.
All right, great. 3.5.
3.5 out of 5 for collectibles, and now on to achievements. There's some bastard achievements in this.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a low score for me.
They are satisfying to get though.
They are satisfying to get, but they require so much work. So much work. You need campaign Batman, campaign Catwoman, campaign Robin, campaign Nightwing, and doing that means you have to do every single challenge map countless times, 3-starring every single one of them.
Jesus.
And you also need to know how to do them. And you've only got limited retries.
Yeah, in the campaign with the campaign stuff, right?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, one campaign consists of 3 challenge maps.
And you only have 3 retries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fair argument to make. That is a very fair argument to make. And you need, like, regardless of achievements, you need those campaign trophies for your 100%.
Yeah. Or you need the Batman ones anyway.
The Batman ones are the main.
You don't need the Catwoman, Robin, Nightwing. But if you're a completionist like myself,
yeah,
are you a completionist?
I'm not.
You are not a completionist.
Or if you want to get the platinum trophy on console, like on PS4, you have to get all the.
Then
trophies,
you have to get all that, and my God, that's a nightmare.
Jesus.
Yeah. If it weren't for Batman Arkham videos, like on YouTube, I would never have been able to get 50% of the trophies. I'm gonna be real with you all.
Shout out to Batman Arkham videos. We love you.
Shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from those, there's also like things like Perfect Night Day 2, which not only require the challenge maps as I mentioned, but they also require you finishing your main story,
the full 100%,
all the side missions, and also your New Game Plus with all the side missions.
I mean, I did it.
You did it, but yeah, you still haven't gotten all your challenges yet. So that's another one of the bad ones. You've also got Perfect Free Flow 2.0.
What was that one?
You have to perform every single combat move in one free flow.
I think it's it was in Asylum as well, right?
Takedowns. That is every single possible thing you can do in a combat encounter.
Yeah,
you have to do that in one free flow.
Was it in Arkham Asylum as well? Perfect Free Flow. Arkham Asylum as well.
Was a bit of a toned down one, I think, but
yeah, it was a toned down one because you had less moves.
Like Asylum has like a quarter of the amount of combat moves that you have in City.
Yeah, because you have quick fires. You have so many quick fires.
Yeah.
You have Batarangs, Bat Claw, Explosive Gel, Wreck, Freeze Grenades. You have those 5 quick fires right there. Right?
Also, remote electrical charge. Did you mention that?
Wreck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wreck.
There's 5 quick fires, right?
Strike, counter, beat down, aerial stun, stun, evade,
ultra stun, 4 different takedowns as well.
Ground takedown, 4 different takedowns.
Yeah, well, not takedowns, 4 different combo
elements. Yeah, exactly. So all of that, one free flow, can't get hit, can't miss a shot. Ta-da! So, yeah, and then there's another one, Calendar Man. Calendar
Man's achievement is cool.
It is cool, but it's tedious if you do it legit.
Yeah, no one does it legit. So for those of you that don't know, Calendar Man's locked up in the Solomon Main courthouse, right?
In the basement.
In the basement, right?
In the basement.
And if you visit his cell in which he is inside, if you visit his cell on one specific day of every month for a year, and those days are marked on the calendar right next to his cell. If you visit his cell on all of those days, each day he tells you a story, and at the very last day, he's escaped, and there's a dead convict in his cell.
Yeah.
And obviously you can spoof the game into thinking that you've been doing this achievement by changing a system clock.
Yeah.
Which is the non-legit way around it. But I think personally it's a very, very, very cool achievement.
It is cool, but again, it's tedious. It's probably going to take up at least 45
also,
minutes.
there's the other Calendar Man achievement, like before he escapes. There's this achievement where he actually predicts the ending of Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
It's not an achievement per se, but yeah, it's a cool Easter egg. Yeah.
It is like, it was mind-boggling because back in 2011, people lost their minds. They were like, whoa, it is a lot more cryptic. Like, it sent chills down everyone's bodies because it was very, like, up to the point because he was literally predicting Batman's end.
Would you mind reciting that for us?
What?
Would you
The
mind
message. What was the message?
I think it was mostly about how it was about the ending and the beginning and the end of Batman.
Oh, so
with Calendar Man.
Was it like I wasn't there for your beginning, but I'll be there for your end, or something like that?
Well,
Yeah.
it was there at his
I
beginning,
can't
'cause it was there
remember
at
the
beginning of
full
Arkham
one.
Origins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like he was also in Arkham Origins back when Batman started out. He was a villain there
True.
in Arkham Origins. So if you think about it like that, he was at Batman's beginning. And we will talk about the ending in the Arkham Knight video, but we will definitely call back to this moment in this video. We'll refer to this one as well, but we will discuss the ending of that Calendar Man said to Batman.
Oh yeah. Enough.
Yeah. I think it was on a specific date as well. I think it was on Rocksteady's birthday or something. Like if you set the calendar to Rocksteady's birth date, or something, yeah.
And
I think it was. Yeah, he gives you the cryptic message about Batman's end.
See, this is what I mean, right? When it comes to achievements like that, like the attention.
It's very rewarding.
The attention to detail that Rocksteady put into this game, it's very, very, very nice. You know, it's very satisfying to see this come out of a game dev, even though they had their problems with bugs in the PC for it. It's very nice. It's very nice to have these little cool things that you just learn sometimes even years after the game's released. But yeah, I will admit though, alongside what Danny says, it is a very tedious fucking grind.
All of the achievements are really. They are excessively difficult, and only quote unquote proficient / professional players of Arkham really stand a chance at getting this. I mean, damn, you're going to be really good at by the time you finish these, but man, test.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
Shall we get to scoring it then?
I think we should get to scoring it.
Alright, so quick recap, we've already scored 3.5 out of 5 for collectibles. And now let us score achievements out of 5. Danny, you want to go first?
2.5.
2.5?
2.5.
2.5.
Maybe it's because I hold a grudge about the amount of time I've spent on those damn campaign achievements. That took me a solid month to get through that.
I'm trying to find a way to disagree with you.
Story of my life.
I'm trying to think. You know what? I do admit that a lot of what you're saying is true. But I think the attention to detail that they put into some of the things make getting well, obviously getting those achievements is going to be a pain, and I haven't gotten all of them yet. But I feel like Rocksteady deserves some love for what they've done with the level of detail, which is why I'm going to give it a 3, even though it's a tedious process.
I'm going to be a bit more lenient towards them and give them a 3.5.
A 3.5?
Yeah. I loved these little hidden messages that they put in via Calendar Man, and I think...
And you feel like that validates the achievements?
I think they do, because they put in a lot of work for that. And it's fan service, at least. And they deserve a big thumbs up from me for that. And a big thumbs up would equate to 3.5 in my opinion. I just... The reason why I would not give it a higher score is because of how tedious most of it is.
Yeah, obviously.
But aside from that, the rewards are worth it to me, so I would give it a 3.5.
So that puts us at a grand total of 6.5 decks?
6.5 decks, that's right.
For collectibles and achievements. 6.5.
6.5.
And
63.5 decks.
Total. Nice. Nice. We'll be back with extras and DLC. and after that, replayability will be done. But yeah, hope you'll stay a little longer and hear us ramble on a little longer too.
So now we're gonna be moving on to the extras and DLC section, and there's quite a lot of content in terms of DLC for Batman Arkham City. First and foremost, Catwoman is considered to be like the highlight DLC because in the main game, like when it was first released, it wasn't like this. But in the Game of the Year edition, at least, you started off the game as Catwoman, just like we mentioned earlier in this podcast episode. And that was an interesting concept as a whole because you never played as Catwoman in Asylum, so it was a nice way to change things up. And she was a very interesting addition. There was a lot more gameplay involved, and she was overall fun. We have problems with her Predator sections, just like we talked a lot about.
We have a lot of problems with that Predator section.
Yeah, that's mostly related to the fact that her gadgets aren't that great. Like, she has very few gadgets. The only one that's super useful is the whip.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, she looks great. Like, I'm not gonna lie, she looks fine as, like, yeah. I mean, you get the picture, guys.
Before we talk about the DLCs, let's actually, you know what? Let's finish the DLCs and then let's talk about the extras then.
So Catwoman's the main DLC that most people start off with, given how the game starts and plays out. Like, you have Catwoman section, while she's looting the bank, she's talking with Poison Ivy. So those are all the DLC stuff.
True, and all the extra skins as well that you get. You know, even extra Catwoman skins and Batman skins.
Exactly.
Nightwing.
We'll get to the skins in a moment, and so Catwoman's a playable DLC character. Aside from her, we have two other major Bat Family characters joining the Arkham games for the first time, with them being Robin, the Boy Wonder himself, and
Nightwing.
Not Gotham's, but Bloodhaven's favorite blue Boy Scout,
Nightwing.
Yeah. So these two, like, fan favorite Batman characters got added as DLC in Arkham City.
A very good addition, might I add.
Yeah, very good addition indeed. Robin and Nightwing each had their own unique gadgets that were Batman's gadgets, but
Nightwing has some crazy good gadgets, in my opinion.
Yeah, Nightwing has some very unique gadgets. He has a lot more gadgets than his Arkham Knight version. Like, in Arkham Knight, it got toned down a lot. That's a bit of an unfortunate decision made by Rocksteady, but we'll get to that in the Arkham Knight video. And Robin had his set of unique gadgets. He had a shield, he had his shurikens, and he basically had enough gadgets and fighting moves. Like, he had different fighting moves, and he had the staff. So
the staff
he had enough differences to make sure that he wasn't anything like Batman. He had very different fighting styles. Just like Catwoman did. Catwoman fought nothing like Batman did.
Yeah, and even the differences in terms of their moves, right? Catwoman was faster and whatnot, with less damage.
Catwoman's way faster. She's more agile, like, understandably so, because, you know, she's considered to be a very lightweight character. She doesn't carry a lot of goods with her. She is mostly light.
Oh my
and Robin is like... getting back to the point, boys. Robin's the like mid-heavy type of character, like, if you know what I mean. He isn't as heavy as Batman, but he isn't exactly light either. But yeah, he's in between there. And Nightwing, I think
Nightwing's heavy.
He is. Yeah. What? I'm sorry.
Nightwing's as heavy as Batman with all of his gadgets, I feel.
Yeah, Nightwing is as heavy, like, nearly as heavy as Batman, and he's older. Like, he's like the second oldest Bat Family member. aside from Alfred, if you count Alfred as a Bat Family member nowadays. I mean,
Alfred dresses up in a cape and goes. Have you seen that video that people can put Alfred's avatar into Batman's avatar in Arkham Knight and line around his Alfred with his arms sticking out?
Yeah, man, like Alfred's a badass. I mean, we all knew that, and that mod just showed it. Like, he's a badass. Like, but for the sake of this video, we're just gonna.
God.
For the sake of this video, we're just gonna assume that Nightwing is the second oldest, like, Bat Family member, aside from Batman. And yeah, he had his gadgets, and they were fun to play as. Robin was in the DLC pack called Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Yeah,
which is
and
like
I want to bring that one up. Yeah,
it was like an epilogue to the main game. Is that right, Migs?
Yeah, it was set right after, right? Because Harley Quinn was holding some.
I think it was like a week, right?
Yeah, a week. Yes, because Harley Quinn was holding some cops hostage, and Batman got caught. Trying to rescue him. The bat slipped up. And I think it was a very good DLC because in the DLC, as we play as Batman, you really hear the regret and the sorrow and despair in his voice.
He's depressed.
Yeah, like when he's interrogating thugs, it's so much more darker. And
give me
the code. Yeah.
He's lost it. Like he's lost part of his soul not when Talia died, but when Joker died.
Yeah.
So powerful to me.
Yeah, honestly. And I think that DLC was well worth the money because it really gave us, conclusion to the story and good suspense as well. Because that moment right after the shipyard explodes and Batman thinks that Robin is still in there. The Harley Quinn goes, it hurts, doesn't it? And Batman turns around and just stares at her dead in the eye and goes, "What have you done?" And you just feel for a very brief moment, you feel, this motherfucker's gonna slip now, and he's gonna start down that path. And I think that's why it makes it such a valuable and important DLC because it really, really gave us some well-deserved story elements and a good character arc to Batman, an extension to his character arc, if I would be accurate.
Also, I would like to add how Tara Strong's performance, encapsulated that broken Harley in this
very true
pack as well. When I first heard Harley's voice, when she was talking on the loudspeaker, in Harley Quinn's Revenge, I was terrified, genuinely, because she was weeping and she had this tone that gave off those morbid vibes.
Yeah.
She wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
She was morbid. She was literally gonna do anything to avenge Joker's death.
To kill the Bat.
And it was scary because she had that high-pitched voice. And in a different way, that is. She was weeping and she had a high-pitched voice.
And she was ready to die. She wanted to die.
Yeah. Because she wanted to be back with Joker.
It was a very good. How do I say it? Delivery. Yeah, on Carol Strong's part.
I disagree. I wasn't that impressed.
Oh, really?
Really?
By having those difference from her Arkham City Harley as opposed to a HQR Harley.
HQR?
Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Oh, HQR. Really?
Yeah, it was pretty unremarkable to me, to be honest.
That's fine.
Yeah, everyone has their own opinion. It's all cool.
Yeah.
It's all cool. But
I think this change of hers really set itself apart from the rest of the game, at least in my opinion, when she thought she killed Robin. When she blew up the building.
Yeah, because that little smirk, it hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, that line.
Yeah.
I think it was a good performance on that part.
I think, and she was gonna kill Batman as well.
She wanted.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, she has obviously fought Batman before in the past,
in Asylum.
But in Asylum as well. She wanted, there was that moment as well, yeah. And she has fought Batman before. You have heard of that animated movie, right? Like Batman Assault on Arkham.
Yeah. God, such a good movie.
That is connected to the Arkham games.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That is 100% connected to the Arkham games. Like, it has been confirmed by Rocksteady as well. Like, it is connected to the Arkham games, and if you take that into account, Harley did fight Batman. Like, they all fought, like the Suicide Squad when Joker, Harley, they were all in the Suicide Squad. They fought.
It was such a good movie. I remember watching it a while back. I loved it.
Yeah, that was said before Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
like
obviously. Yeah. Come to think of it, it looked a lot like the Arkham games.
Yeah, it is set in the Arkham universe.
It was obviously Kevin Conroy, right, as Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Have to watch that after this then.
It is set in the Arkham. I think it is more like Kevin Conroy. I might be wrong. I'm just gonna look it up while we're discussing this. So, as I'm saying, they fought before, right? And she tried to kill him, but it was a very different Harley. She was maniacal, but she was also in a childish way, because she becomes childish when she's following Joker's orders and stuff. But in this one, in Harley Quinn's Revenge, it's a completely different one. Like, she was morbid, like she was scary, like in my opinion at least, with the veil and stuff. Like for a second back there, like if you hadn't seen that shuriken shot from Robin, like flying in,
she was gonna pull on Harley.
If you hadn't seen that, you probably, like, imagine if the game ended like that, on a cliffhanger, like with Harley stabbing Batman from the back. I would bet you that a good chunk of people would believe that she managed to
she off the bat.
Maim him. Yeah. So I like that. I liked how she grew with that. So not exactly grew, but I liked how she changed. Maybe that's just me, and like Danny's like I don't think you found it to be very intriguing.
I wasn't that intrigued with Harley Quinn's character.
That is fine.
Like, obviously, I've been much of a fan of Harley in general. Like, I always dread the whole Steelmore sequence because of Harley Quinn. I dreaded the sequence with Harley in Arkham Knight. I don't like going to the penitentiary. I think it just annoys me, which is probably a good thing. But
sort of.
Either way, it's like, I don't enjoy it. And I think that's kind of what we need to address more than the fact that it's what was intended.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's how the player felt in that moment.
Like, the highlights of that include, like, highlights of that DLC story pack include Harley, like the new Harley, and then getting more story depth with what happened with Batman, with what would happen with Harley and the rest of the Bat family, and you got to play as Robin. So there were a few highlights.
Yeah, I think all in all, it was a good DLC, man. It was a good.
All in all, it was.
Good.
It had decent length as well. It wasn't exactly short, unlike
half an hour?
Yeah, less than half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, at least it wasn't as short as Arkham Knight's DLC. Oh my god. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Arkham Knight's gonna get wrecked, like, pretty soon. Like, it's gonna get the beating of its lifetime.
Nah, definitely Origins is gonna eat more shit than Arkham Knight.
I think Origins will, definitely, but Arkham Knight's not gonna be safe either.
Yeah, bloody Bat Tank, god no.
No, but yeah, another DLC, there's Catwoman, which we've already kind of covered, so
it's broken. Yeah. It's all we have to say. We've said it earlier.
Nightwing gameplay is alright. It's okay.
He's only for the challenge maps, though.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see a campaign.
But apart from that,
let's talk about the skins then, guys.
Yeah, the skins.
The skins. I would like. This is probably my favorite part of the DLC, more than the Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Really?
Because I would say so, because this is something I missed in Arkham Asylum. Like, aside from
because you couldn't free roam in Arkham Asylum with any of the skins, right?
True.
With the one skin.
I will, like, before there are gonna be some people saying that, it was the first game. They probably didn't think that this was gonna be successful. That's why they didn't add in alternate skins. Blah blah blah. I'm here to say that there are games that were released in 2004, 5, 6 that had that were superhero games that had alternate skins. They had worse graphics, but they still had alternate skins. And I'm disappointed that Arkham Asylum didn't bother to add any for
free room. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a valid
free room.
argument to
Yeah,
make. That's a very valid
but
argument to make.
they kind of fixed. They really fixed it with Arkham City, and they did a fantastic job. And the reason why I'm saying that is because these skins, they're taken from the comic books.
Yeah, it was that extra. They were that extra
from certain shows and from certain animated shows. Like, we'll get to which ones later, but we'll get to which ones I'm talking about later. But as a whole, they really managed to translate the suits from the comics to this Arkham universe.
To the game.
Like the 70s suit, the blue suit, the gray and blue suit.
Batman, the Dark Knight Returns, that suit. Damn, I love that suit.
The return suit, wow! Like the way his face looks.
Yeah,
like,
and the fat bat,
Yeah, exactly. The fat bat logo, and it's not just that. The face, like they pretty much translated the art from the comic, like from the Dark Knight Returns comic, to a 3D model perfectly.
They did.
That's true.
This is what he would have looked like in a 3D Arkham universe. Like if he was in the game, like if Dark Knight Returns Batman existed in the Arkham game, that's what it would look like. So, and then there's stuff like Batman, the animated series Batman, which is basically animated Batman.
I quite like that.
And I love that. Like, I would say that skin alone makes me want to replay the game one more time, even if you've done everything. Like, play the game with that skin on. It just adds a whole new level of awesomeness to the whole game.
I also quite like the 70s one.
The old one, right?
The blue one.
The blue
You're talking about the blue one, yeah. That one was fantastic as well. And of course, as a Green Lantern fan as well, like I'm a DC fan as a whole, and I'm a massive fan of Green Lantern. Batman Sinister
What gave it away?
Batman's Sinister Corps suit was
it was awesome
in there as well.
It's nice.
It was designed beautifully. Like you had
the nice yellow
Sinister Corps suit
and the ring,
and then you had the ring as well.
Yeah.
And fun fact about getting this suit, if you didn't know, when the game came out, the only way you could get the suit is by buying Green Lantern, the movie. Remember the Ryan Reynolds movie?
Really?
You had to buy the DVD or Blu-ray version of Green Lantern, and you would get a code, and then you had to redeem the code to get the Sinister Corps skin in Arkham City.
God, that movie was a train wreck, though.
Yeah, the movie was bad, but they had to sell it, so that's why they used the skin as a way to make people buy it.
I mean, smart on that part.
Yeah. We'll get to more about the extras. Like, all right, I will say this though. The DLC before the Game of the Year edition, Rocksteady did a bad job with distributing the DLC. There were so many store exclusive stuff, like
I remember
GameStop had 2 or 3 exclusive skins. If you got it from GameStop, you could only get these skins. If you got it from Target, you could only get 2 skins. And people were like, oh, if I get from Target, I'm never going to be able to play as these skins? Or if I got it from GameStop, how am I going to play these other skins? And then, I don't know, I think it was the Batman Beyond one, you had to buy, like, certain drinks. You had to buy, like, energy drinks. And you had to look for the hidden codes. And then that's how you redeemed one of the skins. I think it was the Batman Beyond one.
Jeez.
And Rocksteady, like, I think it was WB's fault, not Rocksteady, because WB wanted to profit from it.
Yeah,
so they decided to market it like that. But aside from the horrendous ways you were told to get the skins, the skins itself are awesome. Drink. Yeah, like there was the Batman Year One, like from the comic, Batman Year One. That suit, like Batman's first year, that suit was also there, fantastically made. Batman Incorporated. There's also
the Batman Ink suit is nice. I've played with that a bit. Yeah.
And of course, Batman Beyond. Like,
God, everyone plays that skin.
I'm so burnt out of that.
Yeah, like after seeing gameplay so many times, it's still a good suit. It's well done. I like it, but after seeing it so many times, I get tired of it.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like it's been overused by players worldwide. Like it's such a fan love suit. You end up seeing a lot of its gameplay online. it was the second like animated suit, like from the animated series that made its way to the game. So I loved how they translated it. It was perfection, and honestly, the skins are a reason to play the game again because it adds a whole new experience to it.
Very true.
Like playing as your favorite Batman skin, because there's a skin for everyone in Arkham City. So choose your favorite skin and replay the game. It'll add a whole new level of awesomeness to it.
I think all in all, they did a really good job with DLC for this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think
also like there are some DLC challenge maps as well, like Joker's Carnival.
Yes, thank you.
The train one, like that was a unique one because it was a 2.5D map.
Yeah, it was
it was a side-scrolling 2.5D map. Yeah.
Ooh, also,
I think the Iceberg Lounge was a DLC map as well, right?
Fun fact for one of our viewers, for our viewers, sorry. Daniel scored. Which map was it, Daniel?
Joker's Funhouse.
Joker's Funhouse. Daniel, back when he was 14, which is probably like a few eons ago. Daniel scored 27 million for that map.
27 million.
27 million. Yeah, so
you heard it correct.
If you want to see a certificate of authenticity or whatever,
I don't have
it. He is it, is what he's trying to say. But yeah, that map, I'm not even gonna bloody try playing that map. I'm just gonna give it to him. But yeah, we were going through maps a few days ago. I was like, oh my god, how do you do this? Because it was like a 1 million. For 3 stars, right? I was like, and Danny was like, what? I mean, I just got 4 million. I was like, bro, what? What?
Yep.
But yeah, jokes aside, good DLC on Arkham City's part. And before we move on to extras, shall we score DLC, boys?
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine out of the way, and don't slam me, please. But I'm gonna give this a 3.
A 3. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead with a 4.5. Because whilst I hated Catwoman's Predator encounters, everything else really did make up for it. What about you, Ajmin?
Alright, this is gonna sound a bit biased, I guess, but I'm like, it's my score, so I guess
I'm
allowed some liberties. I wanted to give it a 4.5 because of Catwoman stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, the skins and Harley Quinn's Revenge was so good to me. Like, so good. I feel like I can easily forgive Catwoman's part. And for that reason alone, I'm going to give it a straight 5.
Straight 5. Interesting dynamics here at Top Deck.
Spoiler alert.
So that's a 4.
Spoiler alert. This Arkham game is the only one that has a 5 out of 5 DLC for me.
Really?
Jesus.
Not Origins, not Arkham Knight. I'm gonna say it right away. Only Arkham City gets a 5 out of 5 DLC.
Interesting. Alright, so that puts us at 4 out of 5 decks for our DLC, and now on to extras.
There's not much to come in here.
Yeah, true. I think there were a few good bits and pieces here for extras. They had some nice stories and whatnot, and the character trophies are good. They were really nice. Good models, obviously, because it was newer. And the concept art, the concept art is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. And yeah, I think it was a good job. Good job, Rocksteady. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, do we have anything more to add?
No, I mean, I'm ready to give it a score.
Yeah, same. You know what? I'll go first. For extras, I am going to score Arkham City. There's nothing wrong with it. Could have been more stuff, maybe, but I'm gonna go with a 4.
I'm going for a 4 as well.
4, cool. Ashwin?
Big shocking announcement coming up. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well.
Alright, so that brings us to another 4.
Leaving us at...
so that brings us to an 8 overall.
8?
Yeah. Well,
4 plus 4.
Yeah, meh, by the way.
Let me be.
So that brings us around to 71.5.
Dex. Nice. Getting spicy, and we are up to our last category. replayability. And if you want to know what the end score is going to be, I guess you'll just have to stick around and find out. But yeah. See you at replayability. And we are back for the very last time for, well, this episode, I guess. Yeah?
Yeah.
Episode? Yeah, episode.
Episode.
I hate you, Dan. We're here to talk about replayability, and we're here to conclude things with that. Yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. So last week on Top Deck's podcast, or the Top Deck podcast. Last week on the Top Deck podcast, we talked about Arkham Asylum, right? And with Arkham Asylum, we gave it an unprecedented 10 out of 10 for replayability.
Do not regret.
Same. I do not regret that. And I guess we're all interested to see how Arkham City is gonna hold up to that, right? And I guess whilst talking about Arkham Asylum, we have to talk about how Arkham City differs in terms of replayability with Arkham Asylum. And well, first off, there's the fact that Arkham City has New Game Plus implementation, which is something that was the first time in the Arkhamverse. Small description over here. So with New Game Plus, what happens is it's like a slightly harder game mode with no counter icons, but you get to start with all of your tech and upgrades that you've achieved.
All the gadgets you've collected throughout the story mode, you have them all at once.
So same with all your upgrades that you've got.
So think hard mode. So think hard mode on Arkham Asylum, except with gadgets and tech and upgrades.
Also, you can use skins in the game.
And you can use skins. Yes, and you can use skins. Yeah. My bad. And yeah, New Game Plus was an interesting implementation. If anything, New Game Plus is more fun for me and Daniel than normal is. Well, we all like when like even playing on hard, you still have counter icons, and it's like okay. And funnily enough, I can very honestly say this: I play better in hard New Game Plus than I do on just hard. With counter icons. I play better without counter icons because I'm a lot more into the zone. I guess I've died a lot less in my New Game Plus save than I have in my normal hard save.
It's a lot more fun as well.
Yeah, because you're always thinking and you're always on edge because you have to evade, you have to counter, you have to evade, you have to hit, you have to do a takedown, you have to just really use your combos. And I think having New Game Plus implemented in this game gives it some good replayability factor to it, right? Because whilst it isn't ever going to be Arkham Asylum hard mode, and I will always say that Arkham Asylum hard mode trumps anything else that the Arkham games have given us, New Game Plus on Arkham City is enjoyable simply because of the fact that it's Arkham City. With Mr. Freeze, for example, you have a lot more things that you have to do. With Mr. Freeze, you have to have 12 different things to do, right?
Yeah.
To finally take down the bastard. And doing stuff like that really puts you on edge, and it's so fun. Man, it's so fun. And yeah, that replayability factor really is highlighted in Arkham City because, it's harder. You have those same boss battles, except they're harder too. And yeah, whilst you do have a slight upper hand with all your tech and stuff, it does get balanced out quite a bit with how hard things are in Arkham City, right? In New Game Plus, because even the thugs take a lot more hits. The Catwoman bits are exceptionally harder, because it's Catwoman. Yeah, all in all, I think they did a good job with New Game Plus implementation in Arkham City, and I think that really gives it a bit of a thumbs up, a lot more than just one thumbs up on its replayability factor,
Yeah.
What else? The campaign engagement, that's good.
That's good. The campaign is enjoyable.
Yeah.
But again, I think we all... no, I take that back. I think City's campaign is a little better than Asylum's.
I think so.
I think it's a little better only because we get that dynamic between Joker and Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
The new one, it's it's not something we've seen before.
Yeah, 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 and I think that's why it makes it a precious game.
Because like I'm gonna say that Asylum's thing with Batman trying to stop Joker from destroying Gotham, like using an army, it's something
cliche. It's very
not unknown. Yeah. Like it's not something brand new.
Yeah.
To the Batman thing, like, it was there before Arkham Asylum came out, and I'm gonna like forgive Rocksteady for taking this route
because it was the first time. It was the first time.
It was the first time,
experimenting.
Right? So it was understandable. It was forgivable.
Yeah.
It was completely feasible for them to do it, but all I'm saying is that I'm glad that they did not take that same path. They did not tread down the same path for Arkham City. They try something new.
Yeah,
which is very good on their part, and I think that adds to it being replayable, right, Ajman? Because that story is so gripping. I could watch those cutscenes over and over again because they're so nice.
The cutscenes, the story, it's all it's all too enticing. Like it's enough to bring you back.
Yeah, I mean, Arkham City has slightly less cool cutscenes.
Yeah.
Than Asylum does.
True, because you don't have that Batcave cutscene.
Yeah. Or the overworld thing.
But this is the thing, it's still a gripping story, and that adds to its replayability because you keep wanting to go back and play that story again and just see Batman and all of his insecurities just struggling to stay alive,
Yeah.
And it's a good campaign, and I think that really helps with revisiting it. And the challenges, it's a lot of goddamn challenges. Whilst they are tedious to most, they are also fun when you are good at it.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it was fun to learn. Did you have fun doing those extreme maps?
Once I started getting better at them, yes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of the challenges in one of those extreme maps is you eat a guy off a balcony with a remote control batarang, right? And getting into it, I was like, oh my god, no. And after I did it the first time, I was like, wait, that's a pretty OP thing. Let me try doing that again. And I did that again and again, and it's fun then. And, you don't learn those things on your very first playthrough. You only learn those things when you keep going back, right? And that speaks in terms of replayability. Because, you have to play the game again to get better at it, and you get satisfaction out of it when you get better.
Yeah, exactly.
That really adds to its replayability too. But I think where it falls for replayability, where Asylum really takes the cake, is because, well, for one, you don't have that super hard mode from the straight start.
Yeah. Which I would love. To go in.
Yeah.
Full on.
Just not even anything special, just have the same hard mode, not the New Game Plus hard mode. The New Game Plus hard mode is a little OP, is a little too crazy sometimes, right? But I would love just the normal hard mode without the count icons. I wish that was at least an option, because if it was an option, I'd really take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that's one bit of a drawback, one slight drawback, sorry, in Arkham City. And yeah, I guess I really wish Rocksteady could have given us that choice. But yeah, I
think that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, anything more you want to add, Ajman, to what we've been talking about?
On the whole, that's pretty much it, honestly. Like, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to replayability, because you have a campaign, you have the New Game Plus, and you have when you talk about New Game Plus, you talk about gadgets that are already available and skins and whatnot. So it's all in one point. So there's not much else to talk about because we've covered them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like on the whole, I'm one of those people who who consider the gameplay aspects a bit more when it comes to replayability instead of just considering the campaign. And because of that only, I would say that City is far more replayable than Asylum.
For you, all right.
Yeah,
cool.
For me, because I, as a gamer, like not just as a Batman fan, but as a gamer, prefer having lots of things to do when I want to replay the game.
That is a very valid argument to make, because that is very justifiable.
In that scenario, I'm like, I respect like others' opinion of saying that Asylum has more replayability, but
yeah, because some people don't like having that many options, right? You know, for some people, it's
definitely
the bare bones experience is better.
Cool. That's perfectly cool. Like that's understandable. Not everyone has to like the same things.
Yeah, but that's a good point to make.
Taking that into
because it is
taking that into account, I would say that Arkham City takes the cake for being extremely replayable.
All right. Lots of interesting things being said. Let's start scoring this.
And at the end, I would just add that having those skins, like I have I have a few extra skins as my favorite, so because of that, I'm gonna replay New Game Plus for each skin. So
I'm not sure
more replayability for me.
Asylum is great to go back to practice.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
It is.
Yeah.
You have a good point there, Daddy.
But I guess we can start scoring this then, right? You know what, Ajmain, you're going first. How are you gonna score Arkham City for replayability?
So this is just out of 10, right? Because
yes, out of 10.
As a whole.
Yep, out of 10.
Taking into account the New Game Plus mode, plus the incentives like getting skins and having all the gadgets and having side quests, including in the aside from the campaign, challenge maps, having to unlock new challenge maps through Riddler, you have lots of incentives to come back and replay the game. So, and True. It's such a massive improvement over Asylum that I know that we technically shouldn't compare the two different games, but this is a sequel.
Yeah.
And we are bound to compare it to the first one.
Yeah.
You have the right to you're bound to because it's otherwise what's the point of a sequel?
Because it's the same engine.
If you can't compare it. Yeah. So, and taking all that into account, the only issue that I would probably have with the replayability is the fact that there is no hard mode from the beginning, like that hard mode from the beginning of the game. Like, so if it was there, I would have given it a solid 10 out of 10. But right now, I'm gonna stick with a 9.5.
9.5. That's pretty bold, man.
Yeah.
What about you?
Extremely.
I'm speaking proportionally here.
Proportionally, okay.
7.
7? Are you serious? You have to justify.
Come on, Danny. You've got a lot of options now. Come on.
Yeah.
You gotta rethink it.
When I think of a game I really want to go back, it's always the same. When I think City, I think, oh god, I spent like a month doing all that crap, and I don't really want to do that again. And I don't know, I just don't find Arkham City's combat engine as exciting as I find in Asylum. And I'd be much more willing to go back to the OG than I would be to go back to City.
But all the way down at 7.
Oh yeah, I mean, proportionally speaking. I mean, keep in mind, on like a normal scale, 0 through to 10, that's still pretty good, right? I'm not saying I wouldn't go back to it. I'm saying I guess I'll go back to it. I mean, I put Night above that.
You're saying Night is more replayable than City?
I'd say so.
Really?
Because it has so much more for you to do. I mean, while the Batmobile is so overused, there's that additional gameplay
Night
element.
is more replayable, but not necessarily in good ways.
I disagree. I find City more replayable than Night.
Fair enough, but again, I'm gonna have to put 7.
7. Okay.
Does that hurt you, McGonagall?
You're just hurting yourself, Dan. Alright, for me, being very honest, again, obviously, I'm not going to score this a 10 out of 10 because I have mentioned its fault. But at the same time, going back to Arkham City for this playthrough that I had before, this review, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I enjoyed myself so well, and I haven't connected with a game this well in a long time, Obviously, Asylum is great, but City is amazing. And I think that's why, whilst keeping the issue with the hard mode not being hard, I'm gonna have to give it what Ajmain did, a 9.5.
Fantastic.
That puts us at an 8.5.
That puts us at an 8.5. Holy crap. No.
Alright, wait. Just before we start giving the final score, let's do a quick recap. Alright, so to recap, we started with plot and script, and we gave plot and script a 9 out of 10 decks. And that's for obvious reasons, you know. It was a really, really good script on Rocksteady's part. It had a few fallbacks with racial scripting.
And also the side missions.
And the side missions, yes. Like Bane, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good script, and it was well deserving of a full 9 out of 10. Right? And then we went on to gameplay, and for gameplay we scored it an 8 out of 10. And that's because while it was very satisfying with all the new dynamics and whatnot, you know, sometimes it was a little crutched. Yeah, and obviously nowhere near as crutched as Night is, jeez. But at the same time, it was very enjoyable. It was very, very enjoyable, especially for veteran players to start chaining all these new things together. But it did fall back in terms of some, you know, drawbacks in terms of Catwoman's gameplay, for example, where it was just absolute shit in Predator encounters.
Yeah.
And that's why it scores an 8. And for graphics and technicalities, we also scored it an 8. Not much to say there. It was an amazing game, just a few flaws, and with technicalities, it didn't run as well as it should on consoles for the remaster and whatnot. And then we went on to world design and atmosphere. What we scored, Danny?
World design and atmosphere, we gave that an 8.5. This was mostly due, probably some of my scoring, and the fact that I didn't feel it was atmospheric as Asylum was, and I felt that the world. What was some of our other
You didn't like the fact that it was. Well, you said it. What was it? No, memorability was with sound design. Well, one reason why I scored it up for world design is because it was just so much personality and quirks in it. But I guess, why didn't you like it, Daniel? Why do you not like things?
I don't recall. We're going back to our
The what?
notes.
What was it? I think you just didn't like the overall vibe, right?
I don't think I did. And I think we all might have felt that deep down. That's probably why we ended up at an 8.5 overall.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I would never score it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. And then there was character design and voice acting. She got a 9.5. Obvious. I mean, Ajmer, do you want to state the obvious here? Why did we score it a 9.5?
Right. Why did you score
Character design and voice acting.
It's obvious,
9.5.
right? Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I mean, if it weren't for race.
Yeah, and a few other things,
Yeah.
It would have gotten a 10 out of 10 if it weren't for race and a few other things.
Very easily.
Yeah.
And then that was that. And then there was sound design game score. Again, another 8.5 there. Mostly because of the fact that, you know, it was an amazing game score with the operatics and whatnot, just not as memorable as Asylum was for some of us. And then Bugs. Bugs is where Arkham City took a hit with a 5.5, given how buggy it was, right? You know, with the glitches and the exploits and whatnot. And I think it's well deserving of that 5.5 because we're being as nice as we can.
Yeah. It was a little bit game breaking and again, it's like game cracking.
Yeah, just punch your laptop type of bugs, you know?
Yeah.
Collectibles and achievements, another 6.5 there, mostly because it was a tedious bloody thing. And I think that's a very accurate score. Then we went on to extras and DLC, where we gave it an 8, well deserving of that 8. Yeah. Given how good the DLC is, and how good the skins are, and just how enjoyable it is, and the character arcs, the development of the character arcs, even through DLC.
Yeah, Batman's changing.
We got more Bat Family members.
Sorry?
Like, we got more Bat Family members to play as.
Exactly. Exactly.
Robin,
much needed.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
Yeah, much needed.
And lastly, we went on to replayability, where we scored it an 8.5. That is a 9.5, 9.5, and a 7 split. Because Daniel found it.
Hey man, I'm entitled.
I'm joking. But yeah, I guess the game carries differently for a lot of us. But yeah, that gives us a grand total of how much, Daniel?
I'm just calculating that right now.
It scores an 80.
It scores an 80 dex out of 100.
80.
80.
And to put that into comparison, how much did Asylum score?
80.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that? So me and Daniel had a bit of a bet earlier where I was saying City's going to score higher, and he was saying City's going to score lower. So I guess we had a bit of a bloody impasse over here.
Oh god.
But yeah, 80 out of 100 decks for Batman Arkham City.
And Arkham Asylum, I guess.
Arkham Asylum.
Wow, that's
very interesting.
I mean, they're both masterpieces.
Yeah,
so
very true.
What I like
very
that,
true.
It makes sense. Like, they both have their pros and cons.
And I don't think we've been unfair in our judging because we've all justified our scores. We've all justified our scores very, very clearly.
We've been very reasonable towards our decisions.
100%, yeah.
I don't think we have been biased or we have been like unreasonable with anything we said.
Wow. That's just some poetic justice or something, man. Like,
oh god.
Yeah, well, I just double checked it, and
I would like. I just like to call it equally great.
Yeah. Do you agree with us, Ashman? Would you say they're perfectly equal?
I mean, our score says it.
Yeah. Well, Ashman wasn't here for Arkham Asylum.
On the whole, all right, guys. On the whole, think about it like this: Arkham Asylum has its great ups and its downs.
Yeah. It
gets 80. Arkham City has better ups, but it has worser downs as well.
True.
Yeah. It's just an amplification of Arkham
Asylum.
It gets balanced out. Yeah.
It gets balanced out. It has much greater things than Asylum in many ways, but it has worser things as well.
That's a very good justification, Ajman. That's a very good.
And because of that, you balance it out, and then 80. You get 80, same as Asylum, because these two are the kings of the game series, like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Now
they're both equally great and amazing.
I guess I guess we have to admit we've had a quite long podcast. And if you're still listening, thank you so much. We really, really do appreciate you. But to our viewers who've been through the whole podcast, please do tell us down in the comments whether you have any disagreements with this or any suggestions or additions, right?
Because we will end up making a video responding to some stuff.
Exactly. Whatever you want, we got it.
And we're also thinking about launching some kind of Twitter account to update you all on when new stuff is coming out. You can ask some questions, tag us, whatever you need.
And yeah, whether you loved us, hated us, loved to hate us, or hated to love us, make sure you make us know.
Yeah.
But
Ashman, did you want to plug anything?
You want to be a shameless plug, Ajman?
Nah.
Smart boy. But yeah, thank you so much, Ajman, for being with us, and you're definitely going to be with us for a lot more of these episodes. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, of course.
You signed your soul over to the devil. You're with us now.
I mean, there's a reason why I've become like a geek in the first place. I mean, it's to talk about these things, man. Like, I love these universes, these characters, these games. Like, in a way, they
connect us
signify something greater than what we are.
Yeah.
And it kind of also paints a picture of what we aspire to become.
Very cheesy, but very true.
It's always great to talk about them. Like,
true.
And I'm always in for more top discussions like this in the future.
And I mean, I guess in a trying time like this, with the world situation, it's more than necessary for us to have some fun, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely,
to all our
agree with you on that.
We hope you're being, we hope you're being smart and staying inside.
Stay safe, though.
Yeah, stay safe. And yeah, I guess that wraps it up for this week's episode.
Yep. So Arkham City scores 80 decks out of 100.
Yep.
And next week we'll be doing Arkham Origins.
That's gonna be a spicy one.
Oh god.
I wonder if that's gonna be better than City.
Oh, I wish, man. I wish it was better. I mean,
God,
come on.
same.
We all wanted it
It
to be
did have a
better.
bit of potential, but alas. Anyway.
But
that's for
yeah,
next week.
Ajmain will hopefully be joining us for
Games
next
Montreal happened before it became great.
Yep.
And
but no, Ajmain, you will be
we'll
joining
get to
us
it.
next week, right? For
Definitely,
the
yeah.
episode. Perfect.
I mean, we all know how much of a Origins fanboy I used to be. I'm saying used to be because I'm not the fanboy I used to be of Origins.
Looks like Ajmain had his enlightenment, but I mean, I guess
Yeah,
you'll
I've been
hear more
enlightened.
about that. Well, we have a
Yeah.
bit of a side story next week and describe
Yeah.
lines
yeah.
in Arkham Origins more in depth.
Also, yeah, we're gonna be doing we would like to do something different with Origins one, is that we're gonna include a section of why Origins exists. Because
That should be a good addition to content. Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to it than what the general public know. Because Origins is birth was very complicated, and it's a very interesting story that I think people would like to know more about. So
I think we should talk
stay
about that
tuned for
before we
that.
delve into the scoring. Then, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I
So
mean,
you all stay tuned for that.
yeah. I guess y'all will hear it when y'all tune in next week on Friday to our episode 3. Yeah.
3.
But yeah, thank you for listening so far, and we hope you stay safe. And yeah, see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.